Welcome to Guided Spirit Conversations. I'm your host, Marla Goldberg. This podcast has been created with you in mind to acquaint you with some of the most incredible metaphysicians and spiritual leaders from around the globe who have helped others change their lives. In this interactive hour, you will be offered insights and techniques to help you make a difference in your life. Don't forget to subscribe to the show on your favorite listening platform. And here we go, on to the show. Hello, happy Thursday and happy October. This is the first Thursday in October and I just love fall. I hope you do as well. Okay, well, if you don't know who I am, I'm Marla Goldberg. And today our guest is Reverend Jen Post. Reverend Jen is also called Cosmic Goddess BlueStar and is known as the Awakener. She is a renowned earth and multidimensional guide as well as a Reiki master healer, psychic medium, spiritual and ascension teacher, and soul plan intuitive reader. So Jen is on a mission this time on Earth to help awaken and activate people to their soul's mission, awakening and deepening their psychic abilities. She assists with the activation of their light bodies and guides them through the integration process of their higher self so they can live a life centered in love and abundance, which is it's the birthright of all of us. In her practice, she integrates all of her abilities and studies to assist you with grounding these frequencies into your body, guiding you along your path of awakening, ascension, and your journey back to oneness. Welcome, Reverend Jen. How are you?
I am wonderful, and thank you so much for having me here today. And we're going to talk about so many wonderful, wonderful things.
I know. I'm so excited to have you here. And I know I told Bridget already, we're going to have to get you on another show because there is so much content here. I don't even know where to begin. But let's start at the beginning. What was your awakening? What was the beginning of your journey, your awareness of your abilities?
Well, thank you for asking. Well, listen, we're all intuitive, right? We're all psychic, right? We all are part of source. I had many things happen when I was younger where I would have great intuitive, I would have visions, but I think fear shut it down, and just life and being a teenager and all that, good stuff that comes along with it, and really just not understanding even what was, happening to me. So, but I did have one really big, what I call, an awakening moment, because we do all have moments in our lives that we become awakened, that instance where the light starts to come in, where we become cracked in a sense. And that sets us on our healing journey and our awakening journey. Mine was when my son's friend, Nick, was killed in front of him.
Oh,
and
I'm
yeah,
so
it was
sorry.
very, very traumatic. But this was the real interesting thing around, his death. I only met him for, briefly, the teenager boys, so they come in and out of the house. It's just a brief encounter. But, when he passed, his soul came to me after he passed.
Oh, wow.
And yeah. And he was telling me that he was my son in a previous life. And when he had crossed, it was like my own child had died, but I couldn't understand the connection to him and why I was having this flood of all these memories and feelings towards him when I only met him, for, 5 minutes briefly in my garage. And, he kept telling me, we've been together. He was my son in a past life, and he came into this life being my son's best friend and, the group of boys that all hung out, and that he was going to be my catalyst. And we share actually the same birthday. And he said this was my gift. November 12th was as my birthday, and his birthday as well. So that was really the start of me receiving messages from people beyond the grave. And
wait, I want to cut you off one quick question because I want to know when this information came through, what did you do with it? Did you like get freaked out? Oh my
oh
God,
yeah,
this is,
totally.
or,
Well, so
oh,
this is the thing, because I was so distraught and so depressed. And, I was at the scene of the accident with my son, and it was very traumatic. And I was holding space for all the boys, and I didn't even realize that, at the time. But I was having massive panic attacks after he had passed, and I started feeling things and hearing kind of voices in my head. And I really started having like a nervous breakdown. I mean, I did have a nervous breakdown through all of this, but one night I remember just having full on panic attack. And I was thinking about him, and this is kind of, this is a very real, true thought process of what, we go through. And I'm always very truthful of my experiences and very transparent. He was, oh, I can't think of through the whole death process you go through when the body's
mourning and the
decomposed.
grief and
Well, even the smell of the body when the body is decomposing. And my thoughts went there for some reason. And he actually came into my bedroom, and my whole bedroom smelled like a decomposing body. And so much so that me and my husband woke up and we thought the cesspool had exploded, because we were trying to find the source of this smell.
right.
And it was just by my head. We figured it out. It was like just by where I was sleeping. And that freaked me out. I mean, I was genuinely scared, but the next day I wound up talking with my mom, and she said, I was sharing the experience, and I said, well, why would he come through like that? Like, that's horrible. And, she's like, well, how else do you think he would get to you to say, this is me, like the connection? And I said, that makes perfect sense, because that's what I was thinking. I was having very negative thoughts around this whole process. And that was the link. Spirit will connect with you in ways that you will understand, right? So they go through your filter. And that really put me on my entire healing process, because from then on, I started communicating with him, and I was now tapping into the emotions of his family. So now my whole empathic self started opening, and I didn't even know what that was. So it really was what we call the dark night of the soul. And I work with people through all various stages of the dark night of the soul to help them understand that this is a process. It is a blessing. It is that one thing that opens you up so you can start your journey back to oneness, because that's what it's all about, and healing all of the parts of ourselves, the shadow self, all of these aspects that need to be healed and awaken us to our divinity, to our sovereignty.
Yes. Oh, wow. Is he still around you? Does he spend a lot of time with you still?
He does. He comes in. He's, communicated with my son, who's, also awakened. But it was a really interesting thing, because he was part, like I said, the catalyst, not only for my awakening, but he was a very important role in me becoming a minister. And it was really interesting, because we had little increments of, we all have increments of, experiences that put us on our path, on our soul's mission.
If you pay attention to them,
If you pay attention. Yeah. Well, yes, exactly. But it was his death really that put me on this entire path of self-healing and helping others heal. And he comes in when, I find spirits will come in during certain transitions of your life. So he might not be around all the time, but when things are I'm moving through something in, particular that's in connection with him or my son, he'll come in. Or if my son is moving through, a difficulty or a challenge, he'll come in. But that was my awakening process. And I honor what his death has taught me. I always feel that when people die, they do give us a gift, a gift
Yes.
and connection, not only their presence in the physical body, but in the afterlife. And, I work with a lot of souls that cross over. That was another aspect that he opened the door for with me, is helping souls before they transition, to help them through that process. And then the ascension process of their, coming out of the body and ascending up into the light. So there's been a lot that I've learned over the, 15 years since his passing.
So was this the first thing that was a catalyst bringing you to become a multidimensional guide? Or did you have to go through your Reiki healing first?
Oh,
That seems to
everything.
be like,
Yeah.
like
A
Reiki
door opener.
101. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Well, when I went into seminary school, I tell people never say never because
Right.
I never thought I was going to go into seminary school. But a wonderful thing happens when you awaken, is all wonderful guides and teachers start coming to you, and
Yes.
friends who are going to walk the ascension and awakening path with you. So you can call your girlfriend up and be like, this crazy thing just happened to me. And she's like, oh, yeah, I went through that, or vice versa.
Right.
So when the whole idea of seminary school came to the table, and it was actually through also another death. My husband's aunt had passed over, and then she wound up coming to me, and I channeled her eulogy. And when I was up giving her eulogy, I felt at home. I felt like this is part of what I am here to do. And of course, what happens, spirit opens the door to you. And my girlfriend was like, I'm going to go into seminary school. Maybe this is something you'd be interested. And I have to say, at first I was like, nah, no, I don't see that happening. And she started reading off all of the things that we were going to learn along the way. And I was like, yeah, I would be interested in that. Yeah, I would do that. And Reiki was one of the things that was part of the, curriculum. Now, the interesting thing about Reiki is I was honestly afraid of energy work because of,
Oh,
yeah, I had so much anxiety and agoraphobia that at the time when all these deaths were happening and my ability is opening and learning how to understand, like when you're tapping into all of these frequencies and, you're opening up, your body is opening up to all of these energies. I started getting a lot of anxiety, depression, and, that whole part of the process. So I was really nervous about taking Reiki and opening up myself even more so. Hindsight is always 2020,
it
right?
is. It's
So,
always 2020.
so it was a door opener. And now, of course, I'm a Reiki master teacher. I would never have thought in the beginning of this that I would, teach, but through the whole program, seminary school, utilizing Reiki to do our self-healing and to help with, the 5 principles of Reiki, and moving through all of the attachments really assisted in me with my life's mission. And like I tell my students, Reiki is a door opener to your soul. It's to your own unique energy field. It is something that, the universe has given us a gift. So, worldwide, people know about Reiki. It's not something that is not unknown. It's becoming more known, of course, through this whole
Yes.
earthly awakening process. But it's a great tool to learn how to heal yourself and then open, like I said, to your energies. So it all of this blends in, when I started doing Reiki and started teaching classes. I've tuned thousands of people at this point. Every time you work with the Reiki energy and you do your healing work, you go up, you clear out the density in your body, right?
Yes.
We're engaging our light body, our Merkaba, our ascension vehicle, and we move up the layers in our consciousness. And this is how I became multidimensional. It was through all of these tools that we have.
What school was this? The seminary school?
This, I don't even know if they're working, if they're functioning anymore because of
It's so
COVID,
long
but
ago.
it was a
Yeah.
sanctuary of peace and harmony. It was really just my mentor and her sister opened up this seminary school program to offer people here on Long Island. And it was one of the best choices that I have made. And we use it in everyday life. These are
Yes.
the tools that we utilize in everyday life that we don't even realize when we're, accepting or going into a program or taking a Reiki class, just like how it's going to impact us for the rest of our lives.
And
As you
really, it's any metaphysical class,
know.
because whatever you're drawn to,
Mhm.
you're drawn to for a reason. And you know that you do soul plan reading and you do Akashic Records reading. So, you can find out, what it is. But for somebody who's just stepping into and they're guided, let's say I'll just use the school I go to, which is Delphi University in Georgia. I was brought there for a reason. I don't know. I think I was showing off screen. I was there for one class and here I am. And, in 2 weeks' time, I'll be a doctor of metaphysics and an ordained reverend as well.
Yeah.
But it wasn't something I planned on doing. It wasn't in my program.
They're spiritual gifts. And, the program I went into, it was a 2-year program, and it was, we learned, of course, about the world, religions and such, but it was more about healing ourselves and our inner child.
Yes.
And that's a lot that I work with people through. I mean, the dimensional Reiki sessions that I do through your soul plan system, through the Akashic, and even the traditional Asui Reiki sessions that I do, it is founded in healing the inner child and the soul. Like, I'm here to help heal your soul so you can be this incredible multidimensional being of light, that you can remember that you are magnificent and that you are eternal. And as we go through this process, I mean, it is challenging, to be on this path. I always am very transparent, and in all the talks and the seminars and the classes, I'm moving through it just like you're moving through it.
Exactly.
And we're here to all help and assist each other, and this is why, my channel, Ala Kali, this is my self in Pleiades. So this is where I do connect with the star races and work with other multidimensional beings of light. And I guide people here as an earth guide. Jen, here I work with you, but I also work with people in other dimensions as well with my aspect of myself. We can go into so many different avenues of, parallel lives and other aspects of our multidimensional self, in this talk, but I know we have, an hour's time, and to bring everything in and not to just overwhelm people with all of this information. But another really important aspect, and this probably was one of the most important things and one of the most important tools other than Reiki, is the soul plan system.
I was just going to ask you about the soul plan system. And well, first of all, let's talk about explain what the soul plan system is so people understand. Let's start
Beautiful.
there.
Honestly, this is, to me, is one of the most precious gifts that we are able to utilize, a tool that we can utilize. A little backstory with how this soul plan system even came to me was when I was going through this awakening process. I started having angelic beings started to visit me and communicate with me. In fact, the one Archangel Michael was coming in, descending from my ceiling, standing on the side of my bed, telling me that I named my son after him and that he was part of the angelic frequencies. And this was like when I was trying to feel, am I losing my, grip here on reality? So I went into the bookstore, just like when we start seeing the number sequences and we're starting to pay attention to like the synchronicities in our life. And
Yes.
why, right? This is now books falling off the shelf and numbers jumping out at you like all day long. So I went to the bookstore and a woman came up to me, of course, and she just starts talking to me. And I already knew enough about the synchronicities that I was like, I'm just going to sit here and listen to this woman. And she starts telling me that she's visiting from Florida and she does these soul plan readings. And she's like, I think you should have one. Well, within a week's time, I was having my soul plan done, and everything that I was moving through and all the things that I had previously moved through, all of my lower thoughts, all of my insecurities, she laid out right in front of me during that reading. And the last thing she had said to me was, you work hand in hand with Archangel Michael. The frequency that I hold in my energy field is of that of Archangel Michael. And I started to cry. So it is a great validation and great wisdom. It is derived and comes from Hebrew gematria. This is where we go back and we convert your birth name, which is very important. We convert your birth name into frequencies because your higher self gives you your birth name.
Interesting.
We want to give all the credit to the parents, of course, right? That it's them who decided that, like for me, I'm Jennifer Lynn Beldy, right? But our higher self, when we incarnate, we come through the fifth dimension of incarnation. We come through this and we have a plan. We have lessons that we're going to address, hopefully. Experiences. We all have a unique expression. So just like your higher self, gives you obviously the time and the day that you're being born, right? Who your family is going to be. This is setting up your whole karmic incarnation.
Yes.
So with intent, when you are given a name, the energy goes out into the universe, right? Everything is sound, everything is vibration. So
Yes.
Jennifer Beldy, it permeates my whole energy field and it goes out. And now all the people will come to me in this lifetime that will directly reflect the energies that are laid out in the soul plan. So my marriages, my children, my challenges, and we can go through a little bit of my soul plan on the screen share if you want. We can do a little bit of yours too as well, so we can see. But the most amazing thing, like I find that the soul plan is a map. It's a lifeline. You can have your reading done and listen to it a week from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and it will still be relevant. Now, it's based in ancient Hebrew gematria, which is Jewish. It's Hebrew. So your name is then, when we convert it, goes around the Star of David.
Now, so instead of an astrology chart, it goes around the star.
Around the Star of David, which is not just a Jewish symbol. It's a symbol of the union between the divine masculine and the divine feminine. It is earth and spirit coming together. It is the two-dimensional form of your light body, of your energy field, the Merkaba. So it is really profound. I love astrology, and I planned my daughter's birth around being a Taurus. So I even got
her. How cool is that?
Yeah, I got her induced back in the day. They wouldn't even do that now. I was like, she needs to be a Taurus. But I do find, this chart specifically gives you such an understanding, because we enter into this realm, the third dimension, and it's the realm of duality, right? So each vibration that is contained in your soul plan has a positive attribute and a challenging attribute, and you will move through life. People will come in with a direct reflection. You will make choices exactly where your consciousness is, where you are within that duality. So if you have, I mean, me personally, I've used my own chart to stop from really very challenging or negative karma from happening.
Oh,
Um,
interesting.
oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's a course correction, because if, let's just say, you're in an entanglement with somebody, you know, a karmic entanglement, and the reflections of your soul plan, like I have in my soul plan, I have slavery to dominion. So all my relationships now, and it's in my worldly, I don't know if we have time. Do you want me to bring up the chart so
Let's
people?
bring up the charts. I want to make sure that we get to your events that you have coming up as well, because I know you have plenty of them, which will be on our blog. So if we don't get to all of the events that Jen has upcoming, you'll be able to read about them on our blog. We'll give you her website so that everything shows itself.
Perfect. Okay, so can you see this? Is it up on the
No,
screen?
it's not up on the screen.
Okay, let's see, because I'm doing a screen share. Let's see, hold on.
I know Bridget is the one who guided you into how to do this.
Yeah. Let's see. Here we go. Okay, there we go.
Okay, so let me bring it up on the screen. Okay, here it is.
Okay. Now, for some reason, I can't get it to enlarge for some reason on the screen, but you can get an idea of this is the Star of David. So you can see the downward triangle is my worldly challenges. It's going to say worldly talents and worldly goals, which is the,
which is cut off in the video,
yeah.
but okay.
And then the upward triangle is our, you know, our spiritual challenges, our spiritual talents, and our spiritual goals. And in the beautiful middle is our soul's destiny. That is that whole energy that's just punching right through to influence you in totality in this lifetime. And truthfully, that is where my Archangel Michael comes in and working with the angelic energies in this lifetime. But when I was talking about the karmic lessons, we're going to really look at, well, we're going to look at all of them, but our worldly challenges and our spiritual challenges are going to really step forward and be the thing that we're going to really mindfully experience in this life with whatever your chart is. And the 17-8, these are all symbols now. If we understand what light language is, I speak light language. That was part of my awakening process and connecting to my multidimensional self. I do speak in tongue. But this is light language. Light language is the language of God, of language of source. So these are symbols in writing of that light language. So each symbol actually means something. Each placement will be relevant for you. And of course, the energy of the vibration. So if we look at just the worldly challenges here, the 17-8, this also, each vibration brings in an organ or a body part. It brings in a polarity lesson, and it also brings in a star sign. So it is a well-rounded, you know, so much information in just one vibration that you will have. All right, so I'll do this, and then I can bring yours up real fast, and we can.
Oh, I'd love to see
just a couple of yours. But my first vibration is it's slavery to dominion. It is, you know, being held back from expression. That first symbol represents a tongue. And the 8, now this is considered a combination number because 1 + 7 is an 8. So you're bringing in 2 energies that I'm working with within this one energy. It is about being held back from expression. So every relationship I've been with people who cut me off. They don't want me to speak my truth. They want me to stay in a lowered position. They want slavery to dominion. I've been in every relationship where, you know, it was like my first husband. He wouldn't let me wear makeup. He wouldn't let me speak. I would have to stand next to him and just, you know, he would be the dominator. And I had to move through this karmic relationship of learning to speak up for myself. My entire marriage, I had strep throat. So it governs the throat chakra. once I left him, now I've now moved into a higher aspect of this vibration to the point where here I'm on your platform. I'm using the gift of this speech to help give people a voice, to it's like a path of initiation. It is all about communication and learning to speak your truth. So this is where having this information of your own soul plan, you can understand why you have the relationships that you do. Because every single person that comes to you is going to be a direct mirror of this vibration.
So when you were going to the 17-8 worldly challenges, when you moved away from your relationship with your first husband, you stepped into your vocal power, just your vocal expression. Do the symbols change in that area of it? So it's still it's a permanent
because
imprint.
It's your birthday. Yeah.
Okay. But did you change in the human?
Yes, it changes in the vibration. So therefore, you start moving into the higher aspect. So the lower aspect of this is where I felt lack of confidence to speak. I was always scared and timid. I shied away. I didn't want to be seen, and of course I had the physical attribute, condition with it as well. When I started my awakening process and utilizing this information, I knew I had to move past that point of being uncomfortable to edge on through to the other side, let's just say. But this is the reason why we do your birth name, because your birth name it's never going to change. If you change your name, or you personally want to change your name, or you get married, this is another reading where it's called the overlay. And then you're going to have additional energies that you're going to be working with. Like I go with Jen Post, or we can even do business. Like I do a lot of business readings. If somebody is thinking about a certain name and a vision that they want to connect with the name, we go through analyzing what name would best serve that for them. So it's very vast, but for the beginning, I always tell people, have your foundational reading done so you can have your blueprint. You can utilize this information for the rest of your life, very, very powerful.
Wow, fascinating.
It is. It's really, and there's 7 different energies here. The soul plan, my soul plan, that the 10-1 is the highest vibration you can have in the chart. And that symbol represents you being, spirit manifested in human form. And the shield is of Archangel Michael. Wow. So yeah, very, very powerful. Very, very powerful. But this is work. The energy around this is work. So I actually, when I brought up your soul plan before, you have this vibration in your chart.
I do.
You do. So let's get to that yumminess. Let me see.
Well, I'm so excited. Yeah. What are the karmic contracts? That's interesting too. It's so much that you get out of this soul plan reading. Now, would you consider this a soul pre-birth reading as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Same difference. Interesting.
So I'm going to just use this. Hold on. I'm going to put
do you know about Robert Schwartz and his books? Your soul's plan?
There's so many. Yeah, there's soul's plan. I know there's other people in different formats with it, and that'll be in their soul plan, in this soul plan, because there are people who will channel new healing systems, and that'll be part of their mission here.
Oh, interesting.
So here, I'm going to put up your birth name. Even if your name is spelt incorrectly on your birth name, it's the intent of what is on there that we go by. So I know I've had people who have had misspellings, or if they lost their, some people are going from like other countries and they don't have that. Then of course we're going to use the documentation of what they have, but.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, so here, let's do a screen share.
Okay.
Did it share?
Nope, it did not share. It did. I just got your
Okay, hold on.
we're gonna get to this, folks. And then you'll know way more about me than you might have wanted to. I joke about this because I wrote my book, and it's a lot of it's my biography along with tips to help heal and go into self-love. And I always joke about you're going to learn way more about me than you intended to.
Yes, yes.
So,
hey, my friend, look at your soul plan here. Okay.
wow.
So this we can see a little bit more. I think that the space on the screen just won't allow us to see the bottom
It
one.
doesn't. Yeah.
But that's okay. You can see that is the same image that you have in your spiritual, it will be actually your spiritual talents. So you have a repeating number, a repeating energy in your chart. So when people have a repeating number in their chart, that's just an indication that your soul wants to have a little bit more focus on this energy in this lifetime. So you have, okay, I can just give you a really quick one, and we can always set up yours after this, and I'll go through everything in its detail.
I would love that. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, because you're here, no doubt. The 10-1 energy, you're working with the angelic frequencies, but you've had to work really, really hard. Your whole life has probably been working on yourself and your abilities and connection and healing, control, perfectionism, any maybe possibly insecurities come with this vibration. It's a service soul.
Yes.
It is balancing. If we think about archangel or angelic frequencies, you've come here yin and yang, balance the frequencies in this lifetime to have conscious mastery. This is another one with the 10-1, is coming into full soul consciousness in this lifetime. It's the Virgo energy. So that whole Virgo work mastery energy, it's connecting to the energy of grace, and where you're connecting to that angelic frequency and the grace energy to transform situations. Healer, psychic, I mean, every psychic healing ability is under this beautiful energy. It is heaven and earth, and you go through the work to understand that you have heaven and earth within you, and then you share that out. Okay. It is the left hand. It's a service incarnation. So you may have struggled because it was maybe in your worldly challenges. You maybe had to understand about the male and the female and balancing the male and the female, maybe type A personality and control and or being critical on the self. I personally had to move through all of that.
Yep. Spot on.
Yeah, really, really. I mean, but when you shift now this energy, because it's such a high frequency, it is the highest frequency in the chart. Sometimes we have a hard time dealing with the third dimension and the density because it is an angelic frequency. It's like we're innocent. We want to play. We don't want to see the horror and the struggles and despair on earth. It really genuinely hurts us. And you are an empath because you also have this energy. But moving into, you can't see it with the screen, but if you look down to the next triangle, that would have been your worldly talents, and then your spiritual talents you have there are one and the same, and that represents elemental energy. It kind of looks like an egg.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this represents you have a great connection to the earth. So I'm talking earth grid. I'm talking communication to the animals and the weather and the trees. You're an empath under this, and you've had to learn how to navigate being empathic and boundaries. This is a mediumship, great clairvoyance. So you can tap into sight. It governs actually sight. So when I give readings, I give obviously an earthly example of it, but also spiritual. So you'll be able to understand as you begin to shift into the higher aspects of who you are, you'll be able to understand in totality what this vibration does. This gives you the gift of sight. So you can look into people's eyes and see if they are telling the truth, if they're living a facade, if they're, a person that you really just don't want to engage with, if they're not, of the highest. But it also enables you to see patterns. You have literally the gift of being able to see patterns. So you will utilize this in your life, but you will also help others utilize this in their life. So we're talking major transformation. And you will be able to see how each one of these vibrations, when I put, of course, when I do the readings, I do each individual vibration, but then how they all flow together.
Wow.
Oh, it's
so
profound.
Comprehensive.
It is very comprehensive. And you're here, your book, by the way.
Yes.
And this platform that you are doing and all the other things that you have been doing is your 19-1 vibration, because here is now you've set yourself up to bring a physical manifestation of spiritual energies. That's the arrows coming down into the box, represents bringing spiritual energies and knowledge down to a physical form. So that'll be in a center, it'll be in a platform, it'll be in a book. Something that brings these spiritual energies to people. And of course, you have another one of the beautiful angelic frequencies of the one there with Archangel Michael, protection shield. So it is, you're no doubt here to share information, because you as well have in your spiritual goals the same goal I had in my worldly challenges, and that's the 17-8, which means you are here to give voice. You are here to public speak, to put a message out to mankind. So this is where you can see in my example where I've had to move through the challenges of my worldly challenge and just the dynamic of the vibration itself, where I've had to move through all of those layers of myself. And here I am. I'm in front of you today. I'm sharing a message. I'm on a platform that is now putting me in the higher aspect of my vibration, as are you. So really just powerful, wonderful energies. Your 6-6 energy is a luminary. It is the most creative energy in the chart. It's the Taurus energy, the Venus energy. So you are all about bringing beauty, but it is filtering. It's learning to filter out what is not appropriate in your life. You're so creative. It's governed by thoughts. So this is a channel. You are literally receiving creative energies and insights from your higher self, from your guides, from the universe. And what happens with that, you are now bringing it down, your 19-1, into the physical, and then it allows it to be shared out. So wow. This is where we can begin. It's this huge manifestation for people who have that vibration. I tell them, work with the moon cycles. We have incredible energies this month with the new moon in Aries, I believe. And you can utilize this light language symbol, write your intention out for planting your seeds for the new moon. And this symbol represents the crown at the top of the symbol, the heart is the center of that symbol, and the bottom swirl means root. So when you get a spark of an idea, if it feels good in your heart, you can manifest. So, I mean, this is a beautiful, but for you learning how to not do too many things at once where it's tapping in and draining your creative energy and your kidneys and your adrenals.
And I have a tendency to come up with all these ideas and want to do everything.
Everything all at once, like a bull in a china shop, right?
It's like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Jen, let's take a break really quick because it's charity shout out time. And as you know, it's one of my absolute pleasures to be able to talk about a charity that's near and dear to my guest's heart. And yours happens to be St. Jude, which
Yes.
what's not to love about St. Jude? But I'll let you talk about it from your perspective.
Well, St. Jude to me is a wonderful charity because all of the proceeds go to those who are in need. And when I was looking for a charity throughout giving back, because this is what we want to do, giving and receiving, right? So, I really wanted something that was going straight to
The
the
recipients.
facility. Yeah. And for those who are in need. And, childhood cancer is one of the most incredible, painful experiences, not only for the child, but for
The
all that are
family.
involved.
Yeah.
And, I had the honor many years ago of working with the Ronald McDonald House, and that really going there and doing a psychic event and participating in that, just seeing the families and the struggles and but how grateful they were to the fundraising and for all the contributions, because their whole life is being turned upside down, and just the emotions alone of the trauma and the struggles, and not to have to worry about where the money is going to come in, and
How they're going to get there, where they're going to stay, how they're going to keep their food, feed
yeah,
themselves.
I got chills. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just to me, it rang true in my heart. So I contribute many times a year to this charity, and I just, it's one that I hold near and dear to my heart for sure.
So check out stjude.org. I love St. Jude. The Children and Animals, those are two charities that no matter where you go to support children, to support the humanity of animals, all animals, it's a very, very powerful thing. So, if there's another children's charity, please look at St. Jude, because they really do. And Danny Thomas, when he started this back in the 60s, it was, he made a promise to give him one thing and he will do for the children. And it's just been it's so cutting edge what they do for the children, the different kind of new ways they can combat or help heal the cancer is amazing.
Yeah.
And, they help heal the family in the process, because as the child heals, the family too heals, and it takes away the guilt that a parent will feel for possibly bringing down as a genetic something or other into their child, which it's another conversation. Yeah. But it takes the guilt, it takes the pain away from blaming themselves and having themselves question, what did I do to my child? And it heals everybody involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thank you for this, Jen. Okay, I want to go back to your events coming up, because before the end of the show is, it moves quickly, doesn't it?
It does. Well, time flies when you're having fun.
It does. You've got something coming up on 10/10, so I want to make sure, because it's only 3 days away. It's the activation with the Violet Planet. It's the 10/10 Gateway of Wholeness. On October 17th, you have a Reiki 1 class and attunement, and then magic activation classes to be determined, and of course the 11/11 portal. So let's briefly touch on these events and what they're about.
So with my channel, she gives me all this incredible insight and energy. So I will put together classes, with the gateways. So usually they will be on, like 9/9, 10/10, 11/11, like the very
12/12.
powerful gateways. But sometimes they will have me change it. We did that with the 7/7 portal. The dragon energy was coming in, the Sophia Liran dragon energy, and they had me shift it to the supermoon. And everything is always aligned, but we have the 10/10 coming up. It is the energies of the Violet Planet was coming in, and I received downloads of all the energies and all the beings of light and the masters. We have Saint Germain that was coming in. We had
I was
Merlin
just going to
coming
ask.
in. Oh yeah, I've had a beautiful experience from Nick, by the way, with my first encounter with Saint Germain, and I got a picture of him coming out of the ground.
I saw the pictures. Oh, okay, I've got to take a segue here. please go to jenbeldypost.com. One of her pages in the navigation menu is photographs. These are some of the most incredible photographs I've ever seen of spirits coming, showing themselves for the photographs. I mean, they're really, truly spectacularly beautiful and powerful in the vibration of them. So I'm sorry, continue, but I had to share that.
Well, thank you. I mean, because that's part of letting people know that there's just a world that is right at our fingertips and within us, and spirit will come to me and show me themselves. So my 17-8 share out this truth and share out this message, and they are just stunning. But yeah, Saint Germain was, I didn't even know who Saint Germain was when I had that encounter with him. But yeah, I've been working with him and the violet flame for many years. That is part of our energy field. I did do a class a couple of months ago about all of the rays that we hold within our energy field, 5, in fact, that we connect to. I'll be doing that again within a couple of months, but people can always just look on my website to see what's, up and coming. But the 1010 is going to be, it's about wholeness. When you look at 1010, it's a mirror, and it's a mirror of God's reflection. And we're going to work with this violet flame energy and the master Saint Germain and Merlin. And
Who's my guide, by the way, one of my guides.
Yeah, same here. And Metatron, they come in and they come out. I'll have different guides come in, and then, but it's all about this violet energy right now, and the light codes that are coming in from the higher dimensional frequencies. So with each class that I do, we go through, I mean, sometimes we go back to Atlantis, sometimes we travel to Lemuria, sometimes we go to Andromeda. Like each time, it's where we're guided to go. You will receive a light body activation and all these multiple shifts within your physical body and your light body. And that's what the 1010, we're going to be infused. You're going to be attuned to the violet ray, which is the ray of transformation and transmutation.
Yes.
All leading up to the 1111, where I'm going to be doing a rainbow light body activation. So they just told me this morning we're going to be doing a light body activation with the 1010 that's going to segue and lead up to the 1111 Merkaba rainbow light body, where we're going to work with Metatron. So, I mean, I'm here to really help you step into your multidimensional self. I do have a Reiki class on October 17th. I run 1 or 2 classes a month. So that is always going to be up on my website. And coming, because I'm still getting the downloads, we're going to be doing a 4-part series with the dragon energy and specific crystal energy that they're going to bring to the person. So I know like the ruby energy, like the ruby dragon was coming through, and you'll get attuned to that and you'll integrate. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Always creating.
Well, and for good reason. There's always something going on, and we've got so many beings on the other side who I like to say are conspiring for all of our betterment, for us to learn and to us grow and to be there. And I mean, you're just one human embodiment of so much information.
Yeah.
And we all have the ability, but it takes time with, getting, it's like a little, egg, right? You've got a little being in the egg, and it's developing and developing and developing, and it has to peck its way out. Well, that is how some of us, that's what the vision they're giving me.
Well, you want to know why?
Yes.
Because in your soul plan, it's not up anymore, but in your soul's destiny, you have actually, it's the 14-5 energy, and the 5th energy brings in, it's the fetus. So it's, you are always going through constant changes and growth. So you're already, connecting to the frequency that will concrete and will deliver when we full one. But there you go.
Yeah, and it's powerful, it's beautiful, and oh my God, this is really exciting classes.
Yeah. I love, to me, life should be about joy, fun,
Yes.
and just harmony and peace. And that's where my innocence of my soul comes through. And living a life every day is centered in that, and helping people. We do have to move through the darkness and the lower aspects of our vibration. I did too. I mean, I have
And
many.
as a human, you still have issues that come up, human issues.
Yeah, we're human. So
That's it.
when you're ready to cross over and experience either life in the higher realms, if it's your last incarnation or you're going to come back, it's, we're here to reach our highest potential. My mantra every day is to be the best version
Of yourself.
of yourself.
So let me ask you a question. In your soul's plan, does it say if this is your last incarnation on this planet, or if you're
absolutely
you're coming back for more?
That will come through either with the whole dynamic of all of the energies as we move through it. There's certain energies that bring in the totality and the last incarnation. So even depending on where it is in the position of your chart, you will be near or at the end of an incarnation. Absolutely. Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful.
Very.
Because when people say, pardon me?
It's totality. It's complete merging.
And I have to merge us together as we say goodbye. This has been too fast. Jen, this has been so incredible. Please, thank you, Reverend Jen Post, for being here, the information you've shared. And there's so much more, like I said, at the beginning, middle, and now at the end. We will get you back for more because there is so much more to talk about.
And stuff.
It's so much. So please check out Jen's website at Beldy, BELDY, Post, POST.com. Look at those pictures. They're amazing. You can see her services and the classes that are coming up. Jen will be back in for a future show. I'm so excited about it because there's so much more to talk about. I have so many more questions. So thank you for all you shared and what you will be coming back to share. I'm grateful. I want to thank Bridget, my right hand, my left hand, my technical genius. Thank you so much for all you do for not only me, but my guests and all we're working on together. I want to thank you, the audience, for taking time out of your day, out of your life, for being a part of the show. The show is conceived with you in my heart, with you in my mind, to be able to bring you amazing people who you may or may not have the opportunity to meet otherwise, like Reverend Jen, and be able to learn about what they do and how they can work with you and how they can help you on your journey on this earth's path, on your spiritual path. So I know that this is where my passion is to bring to you this information so that your life can be the divine life you're meant to live, because we are all meant to live in a divinely abundant, beautiful, flowing way. And if we're having challenges, there are reasons for it. And reach out to Dr. Jen. She'll help you figure that one out. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Dr. Reverend Jen.
That's okay.
It's my doctorate in my mind.
Life, no worries.
So thank you. I'm looking for young children between 10 and 13 to be on my Thanksgiving podcast. If you can talk about your appreciation and thankfulness and what Thanksgiving means to you and how, the beauty in your home, please reach out to me at guidedspiritconversations2@gmail.com. And next week, I'll be back with another amazing guest. And as I leave you, I want to send you love, blessings, and gratitude. Know how grateful I am that you're in my life, for not only are you my student, you are my teacher. And not only am I your teacher, I am your student. And I'm going to leave you by saying these 3 words. I love you. You are not alone. I love you. Your beings on the other side love you, as well as the being on this side of the veil. You're never alone. And if you need something, guidance, assistance, direction, whatever it might need, ask for it out loud so your beings can conspire on your behalf, because they don't have the free will to just step in and do it on their own. So please ask for what you need so that they can help you in your life's journey. Okay, I will see you next week. Stay well. Bye for now.